All right, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is Hara One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha Rakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders, and Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right, let's begin this video. You have we're gonna get into an article, brief article. I have a few that I want to get into, but little time this morning. But this article was on the Persian International. That's what I'll call it. All right, Iranian International, Persian International, and the topic actually states that Iran lawmakers or lawmaker says that Mr. T, you know who I'm talking about, Nero, own palace could be hit in war. All right, so they're saying the president's palace could be hit in World War III. Once the war breaks out, saying it's not off limits, and basically, Iran announcing that they're strong. The scriptures say that, let the weak say they're strong, and beat your um, pruning hooks into swords. All right, so they're saying that the president's what they call the White House. All right, that's like the emperor's palace of today. An Iranian lawmaker said Iran could target the United States itself, not just a regional war um, over in what they call the Middle East, which would be Armageddon. But not just there, but also it's going to come to it could come, it's going to, I'm just saying it for the internet, um, to reach the soils of the U.S., according to prophecy. And it says, in the event of war, uh, and warned that even Trump's own palace, or could be hit. Sheesh, it's deep. All right, I gotta remember saying Mr. T. Y'all know if I say Mr. T, y'all know who I'm talking about. Amir Hayat Mag Hadam, a member of Parliament's National Security and Foreign Policy Commission, told Didban Iran that while Tehran's strategy was not to start a war, right? They're not trying to start a war, which they kind of are. That's part of their religion, to start a war, to bring back who they call the last Mahdi, which is their version of the Messiah. It's like the false Messiah. Um, and they have to do it through war, or waging holy war. So it's kind of part of their religion to start that war against Israel, and vice versa with Israel. Uh, it says it says now Iran, uh, that while Tehran's strategy was not to start a war, it was fully prepared to respond if attacked. All right, and that's let's go there real quick. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. Right, let me go here. Habakkuk chapter 2. Bring y'all with me. Let's go to this one right here, 2 and 3. For the vision, this prophecy is yet for an appointed time, man. But it's going to happen. All right, see that? But these prophecies are going to come to pass, man. Um, But at the end, it shall speak. So at the end, it's going to speak to be true, and everybody's going to see it. All right, and not lie. It's going to be known that the scriptures, the spirit of the Lord, is true, and that we weren't lying, and that the Lord wasn't lying to us. Is faithful and true. It said, though it tarry, though World War III is tarrying, according to Revelation 7, the Lord is holding back the winds, the destruction, so the elect could be sealed. Though it tarry, wait for it, man. Still be waiting in your spirit, waiting for the Lord's return. All right, a lot of people have given up. They walk back into the world and they stop looking for the Lord, man. Looking for his return, waiting. Waiting means you're going to preserve yourself. All right, endure until the end. Watching over what the Lord left you to watch over. Um, wait for it because it will surely come. It will not tarry, man. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, right? So when you see um, Mr. T, Trump, I'm gonna say his goddamn name, but Trump, when you see them people like that lifted up and exalted, I'll say the president, because it's not just him, it's just anybody that's in that seat. But he's specific because he's bringing that chaos, man, to where they can bring in the order afterwards. Control through chaos. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Right, that goes hand in hand with this precept. Proverbs 12:3. It says, "A man shall not be established by wickedness." See that they're lifting themselves up because of their wickedness that they've done, and they continue to do. Do what they call their business model, democracy, the dollar, strength. Um, what do you say? Peace through strength. So a man shall not be established by wickedness, man. So what they're trying to establish, they're not going to be able to do it. But the root of the righteous shall not be moved. All right. So ultimately, the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and the Lord's words is going to last forever. None of these kingdoms are made to last forever because they were all built off of covetousness, greed, transgression. You know. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick if I can find it. There you go. It says here, Sirach 10:18. 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, right, and injuries and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So all these riches and wealth was gotten by deceit, man, and deceitfulness and unrighteous dealings and injuries. But still, Esau's spirit is lifted up, you know. And the rich man's wealth is a strong city because they look at what I built. Just like what's his name? Uh, Nebuchadnezzar. All right, the last ruling king over his son Belshazzar um, in 539 BC when Cyrus the Great came up against Babylon. And he was walking around his palace. He said, "Look at all this that my family built. My grandfather, look at this. I built this. Look how I fixed it up." That's pride. But all these kingdoms were um, built up through corruption. All right. Here you go. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, man. Not a righteous. These not righteous individuals that's ruling this country. but the just shall live by faith. All right. So we living by the faith. Um, Yea, also because he transgressive, transgression means to continually sin. Oh man, I made it past that one. Let me keep going and keep doing some more. Now the Lord got a cutoff point. He said he appointed his bounds that they cannot pass. Because he transgressive by wine, he is a proud man. All right, so they became proud because of their conquering the nations, and neither keepeth at home. Right, they able to go over there to the Middle East, go over there to Russia. The scriptures say like cattle frolicking amongst the grass until they get stopped. All right, who enlarges his desire as hell, man. So anywhere they enlarge their desires, they say they're gonna go into this country, Greenland. They're gonna go into Gaza. They're gonna go into Ukraine. Wherever they say they're going, hell follows, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. Man, you'll think that the U.S. and the leaders of this nation had enough, but still they say no, none else beside me. That's that capitalist mindset, meaning they got to continue to devour. They got to continue to dominate. Right? So, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. They want to be on top. Habakkuk 2 and 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, even nations like Persia, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. So all those nations going to come together as we see it happening, and they're going to spoil this place because of men's blood. Right? Look at all the people that Obama took out over there. Look at all the leaders and generals that DJT took out over there. Trump, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. All right, so violence within and violence without. You see that? So woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, and this is the house of the thief, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And the Lord said that this place is not going to be delivered from that. Try to set their nest on high, just like what's his name? Um, Ancient Babylon, Nimrod, right? Tower of Babel. They wanted to build that up so they can be delivered. In case of, oh man, everybody come together. Let's stick together. But I'm gonna be on top. I'm gonna run things, and they started worshiping that idiot. They could be delivered from any more floods in the future. That's what they say. Um, so now this place is following in their footsteps. That's why this is the daughter of Babylon. All right. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and hast sinned against thy own soul. All right. So now let's keep going. So the scriptures say clearly that um, a wicked man, a man shall not be established by his wickedness. They're not going to ever be able to be fully established what they're trying to reach. That's why the scriptures say when they go to fill their belly, the bull of steel is going to strike them through. Matter of fact, we get that in a minute. But the root of the righteous shall not be moved, man. The kingdom. All right. So let's go back to this article where it says here. There you go. They said while that while Tehran's strategy was not to start a war. See, they talk about strategy because they who invented chess, this the most strategic game in the world, Chaturanga. It comes from Elam, which is those. Persians. All right, so using strategy. So their strategy is not to start the war. It was fully prepared to respond if attacked. How is it fully prepared? Let's get that. Ezekiel 38, because it wasn't prepared before that 12-day war that they just had with Iran and Israel. They weren't fully prepared. And after that, they said they fixed up everything. They strengthened their nuclear sites. They got shipments in from Russia and China. See that? There you go, Ezekiel 37. Um, Be thou prepared. It's talking about Russia. What they call the Russo China bloc. uh, but it's based on Russia and this whole the kings of the East that's going against the West, the beast. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. So places like Russia, China, they're helping to prepare these nations with defense technology and also missiles and ICBMs, et cetera, et cetera. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. So all the nations that's joining unto Russia and China, they have a protection treaty with them as well. And be thou a guard unto them. So they prepared to places like Iran are prepared to protect themselves, and also they're going to be protected outwardly by China and Russia. All right, so fully prepared to respond if attacked. If the Americans attack, we will immediately give a crushing response. Sheesh, damn. So they're saying they're strong. All right. It says, let me go back to that. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly? Right. Um, he said, adding that Iran could sink a U.S. warship, or Persia could sink a U.S. warship in the Sea of Oman. Damn, it's one of them aircraft carriers that they sent over there with drones. And they have so many submarines. Cause in the military, whenever they have aircraft carriers, they have a bunch of submarines around. Uh, Probably nuclear powered, nuclear equipped. And then you have Persia. They got drone subs and drone air force all over the Strait of Hormuz, all around, man. And they about to bring it to the forefront. All right, so they can strike the ships. They can strike U.S. bases in the region. All right, it could be a regional war. And that scripture too. Let's get that real quick. Let me get that. What was that? Where's it? Let's go here. All right, because this happened to Nineveh under Ashurbanipal. I think Nineveh fell 612 BC, and they became prideful because what they did to Egypt, the Lord, the Lord used them to finish off the Egyptians in six, damn, uh 666 BC. You can look it up your damn self. But if you go to 664 BC, that's when Taharqua, which was the ruler, the pharaoh at that time, he was unalived. All right, but that war in those triple sixes BC is crazy, man. Right, spiritually speaking, and with this place being under those same type of numbers. Um, the Lord used Nineveh to take down and finish the punishment against those Egyptians at that time. But then Nineveh became proud, and the Lord was like, "Yo, you don't think I can bring somebody against you too?" And that's when the Lord raised up the Assyrian Babylonians. All right. So let's read. It says here, maybe where should I go? Let's go to 33 and 8. All right, Nahum 3 and 8. Do I want this one? I'll read it just for the point. It says, "Art thou better than populous No?" All right, so the Lord was saying to Nineveh, "Are you better than Thebes, Egypt, or what they call No Ammon?" Populous No Ammon. That's an idol that they worshipped in that area. Two idols. But art thou better than Thebes, Egypt, that was situate among the rivers, just like the U.S. today is surrounded by rivers of water, oceans. That was like their defense. That's their protection. But not anymore. Now these nations have missiles that can reach all the way to the soils, and they even making threats. All right, that was situated among the rivers. I think it was the Tigris and the Pison River that had the waters around about it, whose rampart was the sea, meaning, all right, their backyard was nothing but ocean, and her wall was from the sea, man. All right, so the waters are its defense. The kilometers away from Russia, kilometers away from thousands of kilometers away from the Middle East, so they can go over there and do uh, uh, devious shit, and then sneak back to their damn land. All right, so it says Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, just like today the U.S. is strengthened by its allies, and it was infinite. Seemed unstoppable, like it was gonna last forever, just like today, man. Put and Lubin, or would you say Libya, were her helpers. Right? They were helpers to Egypt. They had a conglomerate, just like the beast system, spoken of in Revelation 13. It said, "Yet was she still carried away. She went into captivity. Meaning basically she was destroyed. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men, and all her great men were bound in chains. Thou also shalt be drunken." So that's any nation, man. That's any nation that's built upon wickedness. It's ultimately gonna fall. He said, "The triumphing of the wicked is short. Thou also shalt be drunken. Thou shalt be hid. Thou also shall seek strength because of the enemy." Now this is the point. When they said they ultimately they can strike uh, U.S. bases and forces out there all around the world, especially in the Middle East, in their countries. "All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first ripe figs." All right. If they be shaken, it's attacked. So if they start getting attacked, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater. So whoever coming up to devour them, the Lord gonna make them lose and go against the. So those oppressed nations, the Lord gonna have them win against the oppressor. Put it like that. All right. So it says they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater, man. So those bases are gonna fall according to prophecy, man. The scriptures. All right. So they could even strike the U.S. bases in the region, and they could harm American forces, whether soldier, officer, or general. See that? In case of war, our attacks, damn, their attack, not our attack, but their attacks may not remain limited to the Middle East. And that's what they're trying to do, like a controlled fire. And they ain't gonna be able to control this fire. This fire gonna blaze all the way from the Middle East and consume the whole world, really. World War III. They can target the U.S. itself. Damn. At this point, because I did a lesson like last week that they got a missile that can literally reach over here, you know, and it's unstoppable. Um, so they can target the U.S. itself, the mainland. You might one day see uh, DJT's own palace hit. All right, the president's own palace hit. He said, "Damn, it's crazy, man." He said you might see that one day, and that's prophecy as well. So they're threatening his palace. They threaten him personally as an individual. All right, look at this. Hold up. Yeah, let me get this real quick. This is Jeremiah 50 and 43. Let's go there. And it says, "The king of Babylon have heard the report." All right. The king of Babylon have heard the report. Matter of fact, let me get this one. I'll put this up. There we go. They don't have Persia up there, but the king of Babylon right here have heard the report. He gonna hear about it one day. Like, what? Our bases are taken. What? They invading the short. What the hell? Close the door. Lock the gates. The enemy is here. You're gonna turn into what you call it, man? So now let's keep going. Verse 43. The king of Babylon have heard the report, man. See, that's what today is about. News reports, right? And his hands wax feeble. He gonna run out of options. Ain't that something, man? Like when you boxing and you see somebody start getting tired, and then that's when you're going for the kill, right? Um, and that's when their hands wax feeble. That's when they see they run out of options. That's a bad situation to be in because you're left vulnerable. And the Lord said that get thee into darkness. All right. There is no throne for thee anymore. The king of Babylon or the president have heard the report of them, and his hands wax feeble. All right. Hands represent your power. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. See, shit gonna take hold of them. The Lord gonna make these things come to pass. Everything they're trying to stop and prevent is what's going to conquer them. All right, it's all according to prophecy. Let me go ahead. So they're going to hear about it. That, oh, whoa, what? They're trying to hit the mainland. But it says here, let's go to Job. Well, actually, Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Look at that. The scripture just said that. You know, they're going to be in straits, be afflicted. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon them. Damn, all these wicked nations going to turn against him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right. So while he is eating, catch him off guard. So while they destroying Gaza, while they destroying all these nations, when they start to attack Iran, that's when the Lord is going to bring that judgment. It's going to flow right into it. All right. The Lord going to take the wheel, as they say in church. All right. He's going to rain it upon him while he is eating. He said, "What? Um, let me see. Let me get this real quick. This is Amos 5:24. Let me go to 23. Just get the point. Uh, no, 24. But let judgment rain down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. See, the Lord gonna make that judgment rain down on them, and that's talking about those ICBMs. All right, it's gonna look like rain, fire and brimstone. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, meaning try to evade it. They're gonna try to get out the way of it, try to destroy it, set up defenses against it. From the iron weapon, from them ICBMs. That's why they're trying to stop Persia from getting that ability. But a lot of us believe they already have that ability because they got Russia and China that can distribute that ability like it's nothing. All right, so he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So ultimately, it's going to hit. You know, the bow of steel is going to strike this place through. Just like a person that's fighting in war, sword battle, and then they try to evade and block and parry and all that defense, right? May even start talking a little trash. Aha, you missed, you know. Guess what I'm about to do to you now? But then the next thing you know, that sword hit him in the belly, that strike him through, and then he looks um, at his kidneys or liver or spleen, and he see the blade sticking out. And you know, somebody see that, they know that they're. What happens next is they basically dying. All right. So once they see that, pride gonna be broken. All right. He shall flee from the iron weapon. So they're gonna hear about it, then they're gonna flee from it, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, right? So so it's like you see it sticking, the blade sticking out of the body, right? Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, man. So basically, you're gonna realize they was hit. You know, that goes with let's get this real quick. I'm gonna go to Revelations. Once they realize they hit, this is 11 to 8. Well, not 8. Let's go to 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven. So the elect in this time should be hearing a voice from heaven at some point. It's gonna say what? Come up hither. Kwam Yashala. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud in chariots, and their enemies beheld them. And that same hour, see, the same hour is going to take an hour for the destruction to happen. What's been building up for thousands of years. He said, "Do a tarry, wait for it, man." All right, this will surely come to pass. It's gonna be 1 hour. That's quick. The same the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. So the whole country, 10 FEMA zones. All right, so it's gonna be hit. Or also portions of the country. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, meaning an innumerable number of people going to be. He said, "The slain of the Lord shall be many." And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. And, right? Because of this, check this out. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right? That's all out war. You know, it's going to be a shootout, but with missiles. All right. So the threat that is coming out of Persia right now is that their their technology can hit the mainland president's presidential palace. Isaiah 3 and 5. They come from a far country. All right, what's coming from a far country? I'm gonna show you. They're coming from a far country. If I can get it real quick. All right. Probably not the best picture. Let me get a better one. But they come from a far country. Whoa, this one nice. It's like I'm trying to get a backdrop picture. Okay, there you go. They come from a far country. There you go. This one better. All right. From the end of heaven, one country, always from one other country to the other, kilometers away. Even Yahweh, his spirit gonna be in it, and the weapons of his indignation. So these weapons represent Yahweh's wrath that's out in the heavens. Mind you, he said he raises up nations against other nations. He rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomsoever he wills. The same way the beach rises up against the water, the ocean rises up against the beach. The trees rise up against the land, and so on and so on. The Lord created all of that, but none of them can overpass each other unless He says so. The same thing goes with man, with humanity. All right, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh and the weapons of His indignation, to destroy the whole land. So ain't nothing. There's nothing that they can do about this shit. All right. According to prophecy, this is going to happen. It says, "How ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand; it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty, not just from man, not just from Persia or Iran or Russia." So, 1 second. All right. So what's impossible with man is not impossible with the Most High. So they might be able to stop Russia. They might be able to stop Iran. But just like we thought Mike Tyson was going to stop Jake Paul, it just wasn't meant to be. um, Therefore shall all hands be faint. Meaning, no, therefore, everybody's going to be powerless if the Lord says so. And every man's heart shall melt. So all their plans going to melt away. All right. So let me get to the point. Get to the point. I want to stick to this point. So they're coming from a far country. Let's see if they're going to miss. This is Second Ezra 16. And my bad. I'm trying to get some more pictures in the background real quick. Let me see this one right here. Tried to show the whole damn page. Look at this. Right? I like this one though. Use this one. All right, let's use this one right here for the backdrop. All right, so it says here, Yahweh shall threaten. So he threatened with the prophecy. The Lord threatened in the scriptures. And who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? So if he threatens, that means everything he said is going to happen. So if he said this, if the Lord says this land is going to be desolate, it's going to be desolate. Let's get that real quick. Let's go to let's go to Isaiah 34. So the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? All right. So Isaiah 34, the Lord threatened Edom. Let me see. Here you go. Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34. Let's go to 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. See, the Lord threatening. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. Right? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? His bark is just as loud as his bite. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies, man. That's why this is war. He shall utterly destroy them, ultimately because they came up against the Israelites. He have delivered them to the slaughter. See? So he wrote it. He said, we live our lives as a dream that is told. So the Lord has written it into their future for them to be part of that slaughter. He said their stink shall come up in the feasting of the birds. He can call the wild birds to come and feast upon them. While, them being desolate in war. He have delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. Damn. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood. All the host of heaven shall be dissolved. That's mushroom cloud. That means it's gonna go nuclear. That's what creates mushroom clouds is nuclear energy or missiles. The heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down. All the as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the tree when it's shaken, as we just read earlier. So the base is gonna fall, the missiles, the defense is gonna fall, and the homeland is gonna fall, as we read in Revelation 11. The 10th part of the city is gonna fall. For my sword, see the weapons of his indignation, shall be bathed in heaven, meaning they're going to be shot off. They're trying to stop it from happening, but ultimately, what goes up must come down, and they're going to shoot these ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, into the air one day. All right. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. See that? Upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, meaning it's going to increase with the destruction, with blood, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of kidneys of rams, all their leaders and generals, mayors, presidents, whatever. Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, the slaughter, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So it's a judgment upon the spiritual land of Idumea, built by Edom, that wanted to rule in the sides of the north. But again, when the Lord has threatened Edom and the Idumeans and the people that follow after them in this land, and who shall not fear, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Now, what you gonna do about it, type of thing. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. See, the Lord saying, seek ye out of his, search his scriptures, not any other book, no Quran, no nothing else. No one of these shall fail. So all the prophecies are going to come to pass. None shall want her mate. All right. So basically, a lot of people say nobody gonna want any other book. What it's saying here is these animals, her shadow, her nest, right? Everyone with her mate. All right. So basically saying when the Lord prophesied that a place is going to be desolate and going to be an habitation of foul, just animals, he walked up to a strong city, and the Lord speaks against it and says this place is going to be desolate. It's going to be destroyed, and ultimately it's going to be a place for um, animals and creatures and shit to dwell. All right. Once he say that, it's going to happen. So, for my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them. All right. So when the Lord said this place is going to become a desolation for um, desolate animals and swamp animals and shit like that, and vultures and ravens, and no longer business in a vast city with riches and wealth because of its imports and exports and um, business model and military and banking system, all of its innovations and inventions and celebrities and shit here, right? Rich towns, vast lands and mountains, Appalachians, all kind of shit. But Lord said, no, it's going to be a dwelling place for smoke and ashes and animals that feast upon flesh, doleful creatures. All right, so it's written of in the scriptures. So let's go back where it says, the Lord shall threaten. For the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not fear? Who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? So when he says it's going to happen, first he speaks it, then he physically makes it happen. Just like the Lord speaks, and then we have thunder and lightning that come to the earth, or rain. Same way with judgment. All right, the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. All right, that's why when Ezra was talking to the angel a few times, he said the earth is moving because it's trembling because it knows that it has a change coming. The earth is going to be affected by these missiles. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep. The waves of it are troubled, tsunamis, and the fishes thereof also, right, radiation, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. All right, so the Lord made sure these ICBMs have a propulsion system that can shoot from the what you call that? This right here. They call them missile silos. All right, and nuclear powered. Not even just silos, but they got them in submarines. They got them in launchers. Iran has launch pads, mobile. There you go. I ain't bullshit. I ain't bullshitting you. There you go right here. They can move these around anywhere, and you won't know where they at, and they can still and they can shoot them far as hell. All right. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow and made it this way. The Lord created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. The Lord created our minds and our hearts and our thoughts. So the scientists that built these, it's the Lord that built it to this point. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, nuclear, destructive. If you swing a sword at somebody, the sharper the sword, the more destructive it is. And they shall not miss. Whoa, damn. And they shall not miss. All right. You heard what he said. They're not gonna miss, man. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So when they go beyond a regional war and they begin to shoot these missiles into the ends of the earth, to the ends of the world, or around the world, however you want to call it, they're not going to miss. And the Lord, the Most High, going to make sure it don't miss, because it's time for Yahweh Shai's kingdom to come upon this earth, and He's ready to deliver the children of Israel. Behold, the plagues are sent, meaning they sent from heaven. He spoke them, he threatened already, and shall not return until they come upon the earth. All right. So he said they shall not miss. You know, let's go to that. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 21. 20. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword. So he said they're sharp. You see that? This is the Lord's technical, mechanical, spiritual, ballistical, intercontinental version of a sword. All right, to destroy a whole country. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. So the Lord gonna raise up the elect of Yasha Allah as well in the midst as his weapons of battle axe and weapons of war. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad. These right here. As from the clouds. Oh, whoa, whoa! I just saw something. Let me show you another one. If I can get it. Where is it at? Mm-hmm. There you go. That's a good one. All right, remember this? Yeah, the right aiming thunderbolts. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, from the chariots too, as from a well drawn bow shall they fly to their mark. And that's talking about these. A well drawn bow shall they fly to their mark, even from those chariots. Everything gonna be accurate, precise, not gonna miss. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well drawn bow shall they fly to their mark, and hailstones full of wrath. Full of wrath. Is it full of what they fighting over there? Fighting for nuclear uranium. Is it full of uranium or is it full of wrath? We might well call uranium wrath. Uh, all right. Th- and hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out of a stone bow. What's that called? ICBM missiles, nuclear warheads. And the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. There go the tsunamis again, as we just said. All right. So he said they shall not miss when they begin to fly to their mark. And the Lord has a mark for them to hit, point, point to point segment. All right. Iran lawmakers say the president's own palace could be hit in war, and that's what I'm reading about. Um, is that if this happens, Iran is written of in prophecy in the scriptures to be one of those nations that joins up with Russia and goes against the beast, NATO and its allies, U.S., according to Revelation 13 and also Ezekiel 38. All right, it's according to prophecy, man. It says, no one of these shall fail. Let's read this. Joel 2 and shit, I'll go to 1. I don't want to read this whole thing. I'll go to 3. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, Joel 2 and 1, and an alarm in the holy mountain. All right, so we're blowing the trumpet. We're warning our people, whether they were here or whether they were forbear. We're blowing the trumpets of Yasha Allah to our people from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And only the elect of Yasha Allah, their ears will hear and adhere to that warning. Some will mistake it, some will ignore it. They say, oh, they're playing the wedding horns. No, damn it, we're being invaded. Yay. Uh, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. See, shall the trumpet be blown in the city, and the Lord has not done it? To all the inhabitants, even our people too. The Lord, like, yeah, you ain't exempt unless you're exempt. For the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand, man. Is it not? It's close. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. That's nuclear fallout. As the morning spread upon the mountains, the same way the smoke gonna spread out in the war. A great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after, even to the years of many generations, man. All right, so this is gonna be the war of all wars, a nuclear war. It says here, I'm gonna go to this picture, matter of fact. A fire devoureth before them. Here you go. Right here. You can see the fire. Right? A fire devoureth before them. When they land, it causes fire, right? And according to Romans, Revelation chapter 9, it says the fire is in their head like a lion and in their tail. There's nuclear propulsion and nuclear in the front. And behind them, a flame burneth. The land is at a garden of Eden before them. Damn. And behind them, a desolate wilderness. And nothing shall escape. We're gonna be defenseless, man. All right. That's according to scripture. This is prophecy. Um, Imagine you telling a fighter this and they still go in there and fight because of their confidence, because of their pride. But you telling them like, yo, your skills ain't gonna match up, bro. I'm telling you, things are different now. All right. And they still go in there and they get crushed. All right. So yeah, man. The Lord said, what? The vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Look what's coming upon the earth. All right. According to prophecy. So hopefully it's edifying to you. Thank you for watching. And Shalom. I want to say Kal Halayim, Layahawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakatash, Ma'am. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, not watching the children, that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, man, my one watcher out there. All right. Shalom, shalom.